What's up, guys? It's Dynasty for the Mountaintops. Back again. Took a month hiatus. Obviously, Jeremy is with me as well. I am Mickey. It is great to be back. How are you doing from this break here, Ackman?
Well, like you said, feel refreshed. Solid hiatus break there, but things are percolating in the dynasty community and in the NFL community. So all of us are coming out of the woodwork. It's go time, baby.
Yeah, it is. And we're recording on the Tuesday before the Hall of Fame game, but we got football this week, dude. Like,
Football.
yes, it is Trey Lance starting. However, we do still have football.
Billy. It's football. Like I don't I don't care. Like it's like is sometimes generic cereal better than a name brand? So be it. But generic cereal is always going to slap. Generic cereal is preseason football. Like I have been hankering for something since February. I will take whoever. Sign me up. Let's go.
Absolutely. We got training camp starting up, and that's going to be our part of our show today is just a training camp rundown. But the main meat and potatoes today is going to be a debate show. We have 8 debates we're going to talk about. Wide receivers, running backs, and quarterback competitions, as we like to call it. So, especially in fantasy. So we're going to do that. And then sandwiched in between, like I said, we're going to do a real quick mini training camp run through. The big stories, big things that are going on fantasy wise. So like Trey Hendrickson not having a deal yet, that we're not going to talk about that unless you want to right now. But we're going to get started here with our first debate, which I feel like is a debate everywhere, so I wanted to get it out of the way. Who is the number one receiver in Kansas City for Patrick Mahomes? Rashee Rice or Xavier Worthy? I will let you have the floor first, and I'll rebut on this first one.
No, it's fine. I think I'm going to take the alpha here. I'm taking Rashee Rice. I don't want to necessarily negate Worthy's skill sets, but Rashee Rice is the alpha on that team, in my opinion. I don't necessarily feel that this is even a debate when we have the suspension looming. I think that's the only grounds that Rashee Rice has in regards to a negativity is the suspension. We can't really go into this discussing negatives of Rashee Rice. If you exclude the suspension, so like looking at his numbers here, okay, so he's coming off the injury, so we do have some injury time here. But say since the bye week of say 2013, his last 18 games he's played, he was the top 15 wide receiver in 15 of those 18 games. So like he was playing. Now we are in an lull here of coming off the injury, and we would have yet another post or another pending starts this season with a looming suspension. But I'm taking Rashee Rice in a dynasty asset 10 times out of 10.
All right. I don't necessarily disagree with you on the field. Rashee Rice is probably the better option. However, you talked about the injury that he's had 2 years in a row. You talked about he has some legal issues, which is always a problem. Also, when he was performing at his best, yes, Xavier Worthy had a good first week. I think that was just like a, hey, look at our new toy in 2024. But Xavier Worthy is going to be the explosive player on this team. And give me in fantasy the boomer bust on some teams. And the one with Patrick Mahomes as the quarterback is one of those teams. Also, Rashee Rice played a lot, is kind of like I know they don't play the same position, but it's kind of like the Kelsey replacement, it feels like, in the middle of the field. But Kelsey's still there. There's no one on the outside really to compete with Xavier Worthy that I've seen. So I think probably just this year in fantasy. So Dynasty, it's kind of like hedging my bets here a little bit. But really this year in fantasy, I think Xavier Worthy is going to explode because of all of that worry on Rashee Rice. It's not that I like Xavier Worthy better. It's that he's the more explosive player and going to be on the field. We know that unless there's an unforeseen injury. Rashee Rice already has that injury bug his first 2 seasons in the league. and also that legal stuff going on looming. So you're right. I say it again. Rashee Rice is probably the better player. However, we have no idea if he's going to be on the field. No.
Let's go to agreement here then, because let's not downplay the legal aspects. I say that like let's not bring it in, but let's not downplay it as well. The dude's going to face jail time. 30 days be it, but he's going to face jail time. Like this is some serious charges that he's being charged with. So I will be shocked if he receives anything less than 4 games, if not 6. I'm anticipating as a 2 shares Rice holder, anticipating 6. With the jail sentence, I think that jumps it from 4 to 6 in my opinion. So let's not downplay that. But I think we're in agreement here that Worthy is going to have the better year this year. So why don't we say for this year in a redraft format, all in on Worthy, and in a dynasty format, we're still leaning toward Rice? Would you say that's where we're at?
As of right now, yes. However, if Worthy has a bang up year and he's the explosive player, kind of like
of course, yes.
I reserve to change my mind on that because I also liked Worthy coming out of college from Texas, so that helps as well.
I like it.
And he broke the record in the combine for the 40, so that kind of helps too. So yeah, we both like both players, it seems like, but one is going to be a possession guy that I see, and one's going to be that boom bust play. Is that kind of how you see it too?
Yes,
they're both on the field at the same time.
Yeah, and I think we're both in agreement. As long as your quarterback's Patrick Mahomes, I know he's not the greatest fantasy outputter, but as long as your quarterback's Patrick Mahomes, you're going to want that wide receiver.
Absolutely, yeah. Moving on, we have probably the least exciting argument here: Javonte Williams versus Jaden Blue. Notice how we didn't say Miles Sanders because, well, he should have retired 2 years ago, in my opinion. I will go first. I'll go with the Rook, Jaden Blue. I saw him play at Texas. He's played very well. Texas has a pedigree for getting pretty solid running backs in the NFL and playing in the NFL. And also, I have no confidence in Javonte Williams. This is one that I like Jaden Blue, but the other side is so bad to me that I had to pick the rookie. There's no other option in my eyes because Javonte Williams, I don't know if he looked great his rookie year, but he hasn't looked the same since the first injury he had, and he's continuously been injured, not been the same player, and I just don't see how he just changes that with a worse offensive line. So I'll let you have the floor with Javonte.
I kind of disagree with the offensive line aspect, especially that interior. The interior is decent. I know they just lost their guard, I believe it was yesterday or the day before, but I don't believe that the line is as atrocious as you're indicating, especially when we're debating 2 Cowboy running backs. I'm kind of with you on the pessimism. I'll word it as that. Pessimism on Javonte Williams and Miles Sanders. But I believe that the way that the Cowboys have structured themselves, I believe that is going to hurt Jaden Blue. There are reports coming out of camp that Blue is being deemed somewhat lazy. I don't really know the validity or the truth behind that, but I do know that there is some pessimism behind him in regards to that. But I do know that they brought in Javonte Williams and they brought in Miles Sanders, not on the lucrative deals, but on veteran deals. And these guys are getting the majority of the first team reps. These guys are getting the majority of the reps that they're going to be in this upcoming preseason. And I believe Jaden Blue is just going to be one of those rookie suspects where he's behind not the best running back duo, as you've stated. I want to highlight that. But I do think he's going to have some significant time before he gets some decent playing time. You do have 2 running backs that have a history of injuries, but you're going to need to wait for both of those injuries to come in somewhat substantially before Blue gets some serious field time, in my offense. So I don't necessarily... I'm with you. I want to play into the Javonte aspects some here. I do believe that he's coming into a better line. I do believe he's coming into a better season. And now he's 100% healthy. I'm looking forward to seeing what he does under the Schottenheimer system. But again, I don't necessarily want to hype train Javonte Williams more so than I think it's the cards that Blue was drawn at the draft, being behind these two contracts, it's going to handicap his time with the ball.
So if we were talking about who's going to start week one, I agree with you. I think it's going to be Javonte. I, however, think Jaden Blue is the best player on this team, running back wise. And I think he's going to pass Miles Sanders in the first 4 weeks for backup. In my opinion, he might have already done it
until he gets some better reports out of camp. Though, man, like I'm hearing a lot of laziness and lack of wanting to do anything, or him seeing that he's going to be on special teams a lot, or seeing that he's third on the totem pole. I don't know. Like until I start seeing some promising reports out of camp, we're getting some promising reports with the Ollie Gordons and the Jaquiz Hunters, and like we're hearing these third, fourth round rookie draft type name running backs, but we're not hearing much from Blue, and that concerns me, especially like you said with the running backs that are ahead of him. I was anticipating to hear more from Blue now, but I'm hearing a little bit more negativity than anything.
So I personally don't pay too much attention to the reports that he's lazy or anything like that, because I remember the Kyler Murray BS where he plays too many video games and all that.
Call of Duty.
I don't believe any of this. So I don't take too much stock in what they say when it comes to laziness or anything like that. When they show on the field clips, that's what I can see. Unfortunately, I haven't seen anything of Blue yet. I'm not going to lie to you. But I thought Javonte coming out of UNC was going to be a stud. He looked like a stud. He got hurt. He's never been the same since. He's had multiple years to come back. Gets hurt again every time he's about to get back to normal or back to where he was. It just worries me. And not only that, but as of right now, I don't see much in Javonte. Like if there was a lot in Javonte, I don't think you leave Denver when Sean Payton is a running back guy. Like he finds a running back and stays with him. With the injuries, I'm very anti-injury. Try to stay away from those kind of players a lot. So with the injuries, with the not really performing well the last 3 years, I think it's his 5th year here in the league, and not really much to show for it. I just think Jaden Blue by mid-season is going to be cutting into the playing time of, if you want to say, Miles Sanders. I don't even know if he'll be on the field after game 4 or 5. And
no love for Sanders.
Well, he hasn't been good since Philadelphia, and he really wasn't good in Philly. They just had the best offensive line in football forever, it seems like. We saw almost anyone's able to run through that. I mean, Swift even had a good year with Philly. So I've never been a fan of Sanders. It might be the PSU bias, but he really has never been good, in my opinion. So Javonte Williams, I did like I said. We're going a little long on this, but I apologize. But I just think Jaden Blue's going to cut into that playing time sooner rather than later. And once he cuts in, I think he's a better player.
Fair enough.
Moving on, we got so the Las Vegas Raiders have a number 1 tight end as their number 1 pass catcher. So we're going to talk about the number 2 pass catcher, number 1 wide receiver on for the team. Jacoby Myers versus, again, a rookie in Jack Besh. I will let you have the floor with the veteran.
Thank goodness, because the Jacoby hate, not only through the league, is crazy. This guy is a top 20 wide receiver with the Brock Bowers heat on there. He's not on a flashy team. He doesn't have a flashy quarterback. And he is behind, depth chart-wise, a tight end. I fully agree. So this is the true makings of an underrated and underdog aspect. But this man I've had on my championship team for 3 years. He's beyond one of the most underrated players in the league. He's locked in as a starter. And he's been working in the slot throughout the entire time of the OTAs and since training camp has started. Him in the slot with Geno Smith making passes is going to be insane PPR. Just ask JSN what he did last year with those types of numbers. So I'm going all in on Jacoby Myers. The underdog and the underappreciation disrespect is so real. And Brock Bowers going to the Raiders has only hurt Myers' reputation, but I'm all in on Myers, and I'll continue to ride him at the low cost that he is.
Yeah, no, I have not been a Jacoby Myers fan since he got in the league. I think it took him forever to score his first touchdown. He hasn't scored many after that. And when you're in a fantasy league, touchdowns are a lot when it comes to fantasy points. I have been on Jack Besh since prior to NFL draft, as we've talked about multiple times on here. So it's no surprise I will take Jack Besh. I just think the middle of the field, which is where I believe Jacoby Myers, again, plays the best, is owned right now for the Raiders, and that is Brock Bowers' territory. You're not getting near it. I actually think the best receiver on this team, the second best receiver on this team, is the other tight end, but he's not going to see the field as much, so we're talking about Jack Besh and Jacoby Myers. Everything that I've heard, everything that I've seen from Jack Besh has just looked like an NFL star in my eyes. I was amazed how early he got drafted, to be honest with you, but his stock rose throughout the draft, and there's a reason why. And like I said about the Javonte versus Jaden Blue, week 1, 2, 3, yeah, it might be a slow burn, but once they see what Jack Besh can do on that outside, it's going to be a lot of fun to watch. Especially, like I said, with those two playing in the middle and then him being able to play out wide kind of by himself, one-on-one coverage, it's going to be fun to watch.
Geno Smith, a low-key, sneaky quarterback to have?
With those 3 targets, I mean, not too shabby. If they play tight end set because they have nobody else, I mean,
they got the Genty focus, so you're going to be having a little bit of
Genty
box stacking. Like I'm just saying, Geno Smith ain't the most. Geno is not the worst quarterback to have right now.
No,
That's all I'm saying.
I have 2 other sleeper teams that I like better than the Raiders, but they're not far off. That division's going to be insane.
That's going to be a fun one to watch. It really is.
For sure. As long as Max Crosby can get his defense together, you know. So we'll see about that. But, yeah, I've never really wanted Myers as a fantasy guy.
I'll take all the Myers in. It's fine.
I go for the boom, and I think Jack Besh has that in him. So we can agree to disagree on this one, I think.
No, I feel they're both exciting weapons, and again, I think we're in agreement that Geno Smith's an underrated quarterback to have with said weapons.
Yeah, I like that take though. Geno Smith might be the one to have on this team this year, kind of like a Jordan Love, because there's just so much to go around. And Genty can catch out of the backfield, so that's true too. So whoever's not the number 2 receiver might end up being the number 4 or 5 target on this team, which is kind of crazy. And then we're going to end the first half here with what I thought was going to be my favorite debate, and then one of them got injured. So we're going to go Joe Flacco versus Kenny Pickett, and I'm going to go first on this one because
please.
I kind of have to concede at this point. My guy, Kenny Pickett, who I believed in, I was mad when the Steelers got rid of him originally. And didn't really give him a chance, and now he's hurt. So, again, he doesn't really get a chance to start. Joe Flacco has been there. I'm going to give you all of the reasons that you're right about this one.
That's fine.
Joe Flacco has been there. He's friends with the coach. He's a veteran who can run an offense. They're not going to start the rookies. It makes no sense, but it is the Browns, so they might start one of the 2 rookies. If it was a healthy competition, and hopefully Kenny Pickett can get back to being healthy and be able to kind of fight Joe Flacco for the starting job still, I do believe Kenny Pickett is their best option because they got to see what the young veteran, 4 years in the league now, can do You know what Joe Flacco can do. He's not going to be your future. He's not going to be really anything except for this year, and you're not doing anything this year. Looking at the team and looking at your division in the Cleveland Browns, so I believed that not because Kenny Pickett was a lot better than Joe Flacco or anything like that, or even I think they're pretty close. I just believe that Kenny Pickett is 26, 27, and Joe Flacco is 36, 37.
Joe Flacco is 40.
Okay, I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt. All right.
Joe Flacco is 40, yeah.
13-ish year difference. And why not give the younger, quote unquote, veteran, because he's been in the league for 4 years, or this will be his 4th year, I believe, the number one chance if he looks as good as Joe Flacco does, right? And if he doesn't cut it, you can always bring in Flacco. But give him the chance first is kind of what I'm seeing, and I think if he gets the chance, he succeeds.
No, I think in what you said about Flacco, thank you for my flowers. There's really nothing else to say about it. I honestly feel that the right choice would have been to play Flacco just for the sake of how the locker room was shaping up. But throughout my preparations for the debate and throughout like the way the season has unfolded, I fully agree with you in regards to the Pickett aspect on how you got plenty of time to see what you got going on with the rookies. Let's see what we got with Kenny Pickett. Let's see who is going. Maybe Kenny Pickett's going to follow behind Joe Flacco, and then we can worry about a rookie filling behind Kenny Pickett. That's what we need to worry about. In the worst case scenario, let's see what Kenny Pickett can do. So maybe there's a team out there that gets a quarterback hurt that we could trade for Kenny Pickett, knowing that we have that experienced quarterback, as opposed to trading for a rookie and Dylan Gabriel or Sanders. You're trading for somebody who has a ring. Jokes aside, he has a Super Bowl ring. And he has several experiences with playbooks and different coaching and everything in between. I, for one, would be putting him out there if you wouldn't want to trade him, you can obtain some assets. And then that's also good for Kenny Pickett. You get him an opportunity to go play elsewhere. If you know he's not going to get the opportunity to play there, if it's going to be Flacco or a rookie, you give Kenny Pickett an opportunity on the way out. But I honestly feel that it was going to be Flacco from the get-go. I think they're going to play the veteranship. I think I don't know if they're going to give Kenny Pickett the benefit of the doubt or the freedom that they're going to give these rookies. I think that they're playing the cards toward the two rookie quarterbacks, and I don't think Kenny Pickett's going to get the fair opportunity, in my opinion. So that's why I went with the Flacco aspect over Kenny Pickett. The injury is only a damning aspect toward Kenny in regards to this debate. It's only going to hurt him in regards to obtaining reps. But nevertheless, I'm with you. I'd like to see Kenny Pickett out there for the sole purpose of trading him and getting him a better opportunity if, in fact, he's not going to play in Cleveland.
So that's a good point. I heard rumblings of the Saints looking at Pickett, and then Pickett got injured. I did hear about that a little bit. When Fields went down, I heard Pickett possibly might go there. I thought that would be hilarious because that's who Pickett lost his job to originally for the Steelers. So
yeah.
That would have been interesting. Also, Pickett's only played for regular season games for one offense coordinator who most people in media, at least, agree is one of the worst offensive coordinators they've ever seen in Canada. And he played one game. Granted, it was against the terrible defense of the Bengals, but he had one of his best games when Canada wasn't there, and then got to the 1 yard line in the first quarter of the Arizona Cardinals game and ended up getting injured. And we never saw him again, really. So he hasn't had a legitimate chance in my eyes, and I'm hoping the Cleveland Browns will give him that, even though it is Cleveland. I just love Kenny Pickett. I think he's a lot better than what people are giving him credit for. So we shall see. Wasn't too shabby there. I think we like a lot of the same players is kind of how it goes there, or understand how the two players are going to work together. That quarterback one I was really, really excited for. I was really hoping Pickett had a chance, but unfortunately, that injury kind of sealed the deal, I feel like.
Hey, that's how I feel about the Rashee Rice-Worthy one, because I was all adamant about Rashee not getting sentenced until January of next year, and then they got out of nowhere. He gets slapped with 5-year probation and jail time. I was like, holy heck. Yeah. So I'm with you. So
Yeah.
But nevertheless, we shall move on.
Yes, absolutely. We're going to move on to training camp, which, as I've already said, I don't really pay too much attention to the media because they have their things they want to get across more than what the team actually might be saying. I'll say it as nice as I can. They have their bias, in my opinion. So, especially during training camp. So we're just going to go through a few things here. Terry McLaurin hold in. It was a holdout. He now came to the facility, so he's not losing $50,000.
Yes, I think that's what it is. I know that's what it is for Trey Hendrickson. I don't know if that's a universal number or not.
I believe it's a universal number. Yeah. So
there you
he
go.
lost $200,000 in 4 days. So he decided to come to practice, and not practice, but come into the facility at least. Are we worried about this? Do you think he's actually going to hold out, or what do you think is going to happen here?
I actually made a trade for Terry McLaurin in my championship league in the offseason, right after the season. So I'm a little perturbed by this information. I don't want to say I was not concerned. I was not concerned until I heard he wanted something, quote, considerable higher than DK Metcalf. That is when I became concerned, especially because mere hours after he came out with that quote, Sutton signed a fairly decent deal. 4 years, 23 million per. Like, I mean, considering DK Metcalf got 5 years, 33 million per, Sutton didn't get too bad of a deal. And I'm thinking that's kind of what McLaurin should be more targeting for. I mean, you look at the two things, and Sutton's 29, McLaurin's 29. Sutton's playing with a rookie quarterback. McLaurin's playing with a rookie quarterback. You know, their numbers are back and forth. They're both wide receiver ones. Their numbers are very, very close. Like, I don't think I was concerned. I wasn't concerned until he started dropping the numbers. If he wants 35, 38 million, we're in big trouble for McLaurin, because I don't know if he's worth that, in my opinion. I think he deserves. I think the DK one was a little high, but I would rather pay 33 for DK than 35, 36 for Terry. So his number target has concerned me. Yourself?
I agree. I think Terry McLaurin is a talented receiver. However, we really haven't seen that come to fruition except for last year. Now they bring in Deebo Samuel, who, whatever you want to say about him, good or bad, when he's on the field healthy, he's talented.
Yes.
And he gets the ball. Like, you get him the ball because he's magic in space. So Terry holding out is only hurting his chances of being the number one there. The problem is that right now people are so worried you can't sell them because you're selling them for 80 cents on the dollar, 70 cents on the dollar.
Yeah.
So you're stuck because you don't want to get them. If you don't have him, you don't want him right now unless you get him for cheap. But who's going to sell him for that cheap? Because you know if he's going to play, he's going to be successful, right? So you're kind of in a catch-22 where, especially with your position, where you just got him in the offseason after a great year. You probably got him at the worst time, to be honest with you, because he had a phenomenal year, best year of his career, coming in with Jaden Daniels as the number one receiver, no questions asked. Going to be a wide receiver one probably for the year.
Hey, when you're the back-to-back champ, you have money to blow, and you blow said money.
Very true, very true. But I'm not ripping on you. I'm just saying, like, that was a smart move for you. And then this happened. We never thought this was going to happen. Terry has never...
I didn't see this one. Not going to lie.
No one did. No one talked about it during the offseason. There were a bunch of ones.
Not at all.
No one saw this coming. And I wouldn't pay him over 30. Personally, I think he's right in that 30 range. And he's only really proven it 1 year, in my eyes. So
yeah, I like that. I like 30. I like give him 3 years, 30 million.
You talked about Sutton real quick. I thought they drafted his replacement in Pat Bryant. Isn't that what everyone said?
So did I. Hearing you
apparently
know,
not.
4 years is wild. Like, good for him.
Yeah. So apparently that didn't go over well. Media was wrong on that one. So we'll talk that one up. But we talked about McLaurin, especially since he's not doing anything right now. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing you can do. You have to hold him right now.
Yeah.
Unless you're that worried and you're going to take 60, 70 cents on the dollar and get probably crushed in your trade.
No, if anything, what I'm doing is I'm working on more depth than rather than moving Terry. I'm trying to find supplemental Terry help. That's what I'm doing. I'm looking for a low tier wide receiver or a low tier running back that's going to get me a week or two just to kind of make sure that I'm okay in regards to this, because the Terry thing might bleed into the beginning of the year, but there's no way on this planet it lasts several weeks. There's no way. He's too smart of a financial man to allow this to go that way.
Not only that, but I think Le'Veon Bell holding out for the year and then playing absolutely terrible the rest of his career, after being arguably the best player in football before that, kind of should deter a lot of players, because if you sit out 1 year, it is impossible to come back where you were, because you just don't have that football shape. Speaking of which, we have another hold-in.
Nice.
Cook. This one, everyone expected until he got paid, which, truth be told, I don't think he's going to. But what are your feelings on James Cook, fantasy-wise?
I had him in my one league, and I shipped him out, concerning myself over this. Now, I agree with you. I think I saw this coming, but it's going smoother than the Terry one. He's practicing. He's at least showed up on day one, and he's everything. So, I mean, it's going a little bit more smooth than I thought it would. But I agree with you. I don't think he's going to get the money that he wants, and that is what I'm waiting for. You could show up to camp to avoid the fines and such, but like when it comes time to serious time and the playing games, that's where the holdout carries the most weight. And I think if you're going to have that go into play, that's when it's going to come into play. And I don't want that costing me during my season. So I actually shipped James Cook for some high draft cap. But nevertheless, that would have me spooked. But it actually seems like it's going okay for now. But emphasis on for now.
Right. And I haven't really been a James Cook guy, to be honest with you. I like Ray Davis. The Bills like Ray Davis. I think he was going to see some time drop anyway, or some carry droppage anyway, because of Ray Davis this year and keeping him healthy. But I was worried. I'm worried about this if I'm a Cook owner, because you have no idea where he might go next year. Is it next year, 2 years? Do you know that?
It's next year. So like this is the last year of his contract.
Yeah. So
like he's already put his house up for sale and stuff. Like he's playing hardball, man. So
and I don't think the Bills are going to pay him. So I don't know.
No, I don't either. And that's why I moved
terrified for next year.
I think Terry gets paid. I don't think Terry gets paid $38 million like he wants. I think Terry gets a contract he's happy with, and Terry plays week 1. I don't know that for James Cook, because James Cook's being civil now. But when he finds out he ain't getting that money, that's when things are going to change. So we'll see.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting one. These are two players that I don't want any part of, and I'm glad I have no part of right now. So, especially in Dynasty. So that was good. Real quick, we have some injury updates here. Fields had a toe injury. He is back to practice, but still not 100%. Are we worried about this at all, real quick?
No. From what I understand, he'll be back to full swing on Monday. He was 11-11 today, so I mean, it seems like everything's hunky dory.
Yeah, I mean, he said he still isn't 100%, but he's getting there. Week 1, I don't think there's going to be an issue. Also, there's no one behind him. So like, what are you going to do? So even if he doesn't play week 1, he's going to be the starter because there's no one back there. But I don't think that's going to be an issue. He should be fine to go. So just wanted to bring that up. Mixon, a little bit different of a story. Mixon is now on the non-football injury, or he came into camp, injured.
Yeah.
His foot could miss week 1, out for an extended period of time is what I've gathered the last couple days here. So does this worry you about Mixon? Does this
terrified? Maybe because Mixon has a little bit more weight in the stock that I have him, but I'm terrified. The NFI tag terrifies me because not only you have no idea how that injury happened, you have no idea what the injury is. Because it's an NFI, they don't have to disclose it's an ankle or a knee or something. Like, they can talk it. There could be some rumors and whispers, but like we have no idea what this is. severity or anything. And what this reeks of surgery, like in the next week or two. It's just something. It just reeks of it that he gets the surgery now, so he comes back mid-season. This one has. I got a bad feeling about this one.
So I agree with you. I think Mixon, it's going to be a little bit more serious than people are leading on. People are saying he's going to miss week 1. Usually, you're missing week 1. You're missing more than that.
Yes.
How I look at it, or how I play
Yep.
off of it. Does this mean Chubb's the dude? You go get him now, or is it too late? Or are you getting Damian Pierce? Do you think he has another run? Like, what do you think the fantasy ramifications are for this?
I think the play is to go get Chubb, see what you can do with Chubb, but I think it is too late. I think when Mixon came into camp with the NFI tag, that was the time to strike. When he now came out days later, it was reported that he was going to miss the quote extended amount of time. That's different than just a non-football injury tag where you're missing some OTAs and you're missing camp, walking around with a boot on occasion. I said this is we're talking missing some regular season time. Woody Marks is a rookie. Damian Pierce hasn't done anything in 2 years. I'm a massive Damian Pierce fan, and he hasn't done anything in 2 years. And he was on a pup coming into camp, so he's not 100%, or at least minimum shaking rust off. I think Chubb's the way to go here. We know what kind of training he was doing before he was signed to prove that he was agile, to prove that he was back in his steps. We saw the videos online. Like, the dude was a freak in nature. So I think Chubb's the way to play here, but it might cost you an extra pick on top just because it's obvious that the writing's on the wall that that's the play to go.
And not only that, but this is only if you have a team to go. Like,
yes, I'm not saying
no
rush out.
Get Chubb if you think,
No one needs to rush out and get Chubb. If you're someone like myself that has Mixon and Woody Marks, maybe Chubb would be a play to go get, to kind of complete the trifecta. That way, I know that I have that backfield locked down. But at this time, I think he's the most secure. He's the most secure name in the backfield.
Yeah. Moving on, the most important player on this list, in my opinion, Justin Jefferson. Hamstring injury terrifies me. But yeah, I've seen this hamstring linger for a whole year. And it worries me that in training camp he's having this injury. They can linger, like I said, the entire year, or it could go away. You don't know. But when you're one of the top 5 players in fantasy, I'd say, non-quarterback, probably number 1, 2, or 1 or 2.
Top 5 overall, yeah.
Overall in fantasy, outside of quarterback, this is huge. So obviously, dynasty, hold tight. Don't be dumb and trade them like people in my league have done in the past, as Jimmy knows. Hold tight on Jefferson. Even if he's out for an extended period of time, hold tight on Jefferson unless your team is a rebuild for the next 3-4 years, because that's how, like, he's still in a massively barely in his prime years yet. So I don't think there's anything really to take away from this fantasy wise. It's just worrisome for your season if you thought you had a team because of Jefferson.
Oh, yeah, I mean, obviously you're keeping him unless, it's a season-ending injury. It's the only time you really want to talk about moving these big guys in if you need to. I dislike the hamstring for the same reasons you mentioned. I think that's one of the most reoccurring injuries that can happen, so you want to play with the absolute most safety here, and with it being camp and early camp, I could see him sitting out probably like a week or so. I wouldn't panic, but I definitely can see the concern of certain teams' nucleus being down, so...
Yeah. No, definitely. I hate it when I hear hamstring because those things pop out of nowhere.
Yep.
When you had it once in a year. So hopefully everything's going to be good with Jay Jetta and we'll be able to move on. Isaiah Likely got injured, I think, yesterday or today.
Today, rolled his ankle.
Out a few weeks. Beginning of the year is in doubt. 2 things on this. I don't know if you want to go first or you want to let me go here, but
you can.
I know. First off, I expect likely to be the number one on this team, tight end, and really the number one pass catcher almost, to be honest with you. 1A, 1B with Flowers. But beginning of the year being in doubt, this opens up Andrews heavily. If you want to go out and try to get a tight end, don't have one yet, or have one, just might want to use someone in the flex, Andrews should feast. Because without Likely on the field, Andrews is going to eat. Without Andrews on the field, Likely's going to eat. With both of them on the field, we have no idea.
So more like just tight ends. It's obvious, yes. And Mark Andrews, with the exception of last year, showing some age and showing some rust post injury. Andrews has been a very reliant tight end, one of the best. So yeah, I mean, Andrews is definitely the way to go. But I'm with you. I think it's Isaiah's team by the end of the year. I think this is a minor hiccup and a roadblock to a fulfilling season.
Nice. And then lastly, out of the injuries here, we have Matthew Stafford injured his back. Go ahead with all of the older player comments you would like that the back gave out. Enter jokes there. So
yeah, carrying the back, carrying the team back hurts. Yeah, etc. Matthew Stafford is top 3 favorite current NFL player of mine. I would. He's up there in regards to it'd be fun to meet him. I have his jersey. Like he's one of the goats in my book. I am not concerned about this. I think this is a veteran quarterback coming into year 17 under the same old scheme that won him a Super Bowl. I think this is just veteran privileges, and he'll be good to go by week 1.
With a someone he already has rapport with in, wow, I cannot think of names right now.
Puka Nacua.
Thank you. With Puka Nacua.
And you got Devontae Adams as an upgrade. Like, I'm really looking forward to seeing the Rams' offense this year. I'm not concerned about Stafford. I really think if there was this much significant concern over Stafford, they would be bringing in guys or there would be more talk. I think, honestly, again, if this was week 3 of the season, I think no one's even mentioning Stafford's name. I think the fact that this is week 1 of training camp and the dude's coming in here in the same old system, I think it's just a matter of giving the vet a little bit of an easy lay in.
I like that. And what we're going to do real quick here to end the training camp is stock up, stock down. Okay? So we're stock up or stock down on these next few players. We're just going to run through them real quick. All right?
Okay.
All right. So Debo.
Stock up, especially as Terry out.
Huge up. Like he's the only one there. I agree.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely stock huge, which I love that I have shares of him. George Pickens, stock up, stock down.
Stock massively up. Top 3 player of mine this year.
George Pickens?
Yes, I'm telling you, I am
all on the other side.
I am all in on George Pickens, sir.
Wow. Okay, I like that. My stock actually stays the same because now he has a legitimate quarterback. But he's not the number one.
I understand he's behind CD, but I'm telling you, I think this is going to be. I think we all know the decent fantasy piece that T. Higgins is. I think this is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals wide receiver duo on steroids because Pickens has better hands, Pickens is healthier, and Dak throws the ball more. I'm telling you, I am all in on Dallas pass game, CD, Dak, Pickens this year. All in.
Nice. I like it. We're going to do both of these ones at the same time because if one's good, the other one's got to be good because he only has one person to throw to. Aaron Rodgers, DK Metcalf.
Stock stays the same from last year, in my opinion, for Metcalf. Obviously, stock's up for Rodgers.
I think stock goes up for Metcalf because he has Rodgers and he's the only one there. Rodgers stays about the same because he's 41 years old. What else are you going to do? And he doesn't move anymore. Evan Ingram, stock up or stock down? He's now in Denver.
I'm going to put stock up just under the Sean Payton scheme. It seems like he was targeted, but stock up slightly because I have no idea what to expect with that offense.
Yeah, I think he's going to be the Joker. I've been saying that for months now. The Joker in that system is the best player in the system when Sean Payton is the head coach. So I believe he's going to have a massive year, stock massively up. Might be because I have him too. Geno Smith.
It's kind of funny you mentioned this. We talked about this earlier. I'm going to go stock up after I convinced myself and talking with you. I'm going to go stock up on Geno Smith. He has the weapons and he has Pete Carroll. Giddy up.
Yeah, I was honestly going to say stock down until we talked about it. stock up. I agree.
Let's go.
Devontae Adams.
Stock up. I'm a big fan of Devontae Adams this year. I think the dude's not going to slow down, and now he has a gunslinger as a quarterback once again with Matthew Stafford. I think that Sean McVay offense is going to pattern himself. He's going to fit right in that Cooper Kupp scheme. He's a healthy Cooper Kupp. He's going to catch more balls than Cooper Kupp. Rams are going to be fun to watch as well.
I'm actually saying stock down because he does not like to be the number 2 target, and he will be the number 2 target. So I think it's a slight down because he had a hell of a year last year. Whether the Jets played well or not, he had a hell of a year.
He did.
Sam Darnold.
Stock down. I think they got
Milrow.
Thank you. Milrow's on his heels, and I think we see Milrow by the end of the year.
I've been saying it.
You've
drafted
been
to the Seattle Seahawks. He couldn't have went to a better place because he already probably passed Drew Lock, and he's going to pass Sam Darnold this year.
Yeah, man.
So
you got me drinking that
way down for Sam Darnold. I'd be selling my shares if I could, if I had any. Stephon Diggs now in New England.
Stock up. I like him there. He's healthy. He seems like he's healthy physically. He seems like he's healthy mentally. And Drake May likes to throw the ball.
And there's no one there.
And there's a lot of people there, just nobody good. That wide receiver room's busy.
Yeah, I mean, Trevion Henderson, that's why I love him so much, because there was no one else to throw the ball to except for Diggs. So, yeah, stock up as well. And then Cooper Kupp, last one. I know you were talking about you think he's kind of done. So,
I'm going to stock down just enough for what we said about Darnold. And I think everything's catching up on him. I'm going to go stock down.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think he's going to be in the same position. Puka is better than JSN. However, JSN is going to be the number 1 there. And I wish Cooper Kupp could be that target machine that he was. I'm more worried about the injuries than anything else.
Especially if they start having like a down year, or Darnold starts showing vintage Darnold, not last year Darnold. Like, it's going to be interesting.
You went from protection to so many variables. Which is unfortunate. So, all right. So that took a little bit longer than I expected. We're going to hopefully be able to fly through these 4 debates. Most of them are pretty easy, I feel like. 2 of them we kind of are. I know I'm hedge. So, but the first one I am not. We're getting back into it with the Pittsburgh Steelers running back. I will let you start because I can't believe – I'm hoping you've changed your mind at this point.
No, I've not changed my mind. I'm going Jalen Warren over Caleb Johnson here. Caleb Johnson's the new toy. That's what everybody wants to show. That's what everybody wants to talk about is Caleb Johnson's new toy. I haven't seen a snap of NFL professional ball of Caleb Johnson. I have seen the Jalen Warren. I don't want to hear about the draft cap argument or anything on those lines. He has been Mr. Consistency. He is the reason why Najee is no longer a Steeler. He has been re-signed. They tagged him for a reason. They brought him back for another reason. I know they drafted Caleb Johnson. The Steelers are the running team. Arthur Smith is a run-heavy offensive coordinator. It makes sense that they brought in a Najee replacement, but I'm telling you, Warren ain't going out quietly. Warren has been around, and he's significantly, year in and year out, has taken away from Najee Harris's fantasy points and opportunities. And now Warren is coming into the season as RB1. I'm telling you, this is not going to be no insane Warren's going to be number 1 runaway with this Willie Parker style. I'm just saying that this is not going to be easy to take from Jalen Warren because he's already proven that he can stand the ground with Najee.
All right, so I'm going to kind of debate one of your things. The reason Najee's not here and Jalen is because he was a quarter of the price, I'm sure. They were not signed for the same amount of money by any stretch. And they knew they were going to get a running back in this draft. That's my belief. I haven't heard anything about that inside or anything like that. That's just my belief.
You don't let Najee walk without the safety net of Jalen Warren.
I don't disagree.
Najee walked.
But the reason Najee walked was because Jalen was cheaper. If they were the same price, Najee's still here, Jalen's gone. That's where I'm coming from. Does
the firework injury happen if he stays a Steeler?
Who knows? Probably because he'd be in Pittsburgh and there's fireworks every other night. However, Caleb Johnson, I was worried about going into the draft because I was worried about where he was going to be offensive line-wise because he was behind the second best offensive line statistically in the NCAA in Iowa. And they don't throw the ball. So he was busy, and he had a really good offensive line to back him up. However, call it Steeler bias, whatever you want to call it, this offensive line should be good. And they're young, so it might take them a couple weeks. But I believe if the offensive line holds up, Caleb Johnson is going to be a better running back than Najee Harris was because he has the burst and not just the physicality. Between the tackles, downs 1 and 2, you're going to see Caleb Johnson because I don't trust Warren in that situation. Short yardage, you're going to see Caleb Johnson because he's a beast. Eventually, and I haven't seen this because Iowa never throws the ball, or especially to the running back, but really at all. So I don't know how Caleb Johnson's hands are. So you may see Jalen Warren on third down. They have a really good pass catching back who no one's talking about as well, and I'm biased because I love Kenneth Gainwell, but I think they got him for special teams, so we'll not worry about that. I just believe Caleb Johnson is going to be the one to have because short yardage touchdowns, breakaway speed, and between the tackles, he's going to be very good there. Jalen Warren, he is going to get the passes or catch the passes out of the backfield, things like that, and be open or be able to get into space. But if the offensive line is as good as I believe they can be and as good as a lot of people have been talking about they can be, Caleb Johnson's going to feast and be one of the top 10 backs in the league this year.
I like it. Especially because all the offensive line arguments help Jalen Warren.
To a point. Because Caleb is the stronger back, the one who can break the tackles and go. I think once Jalen gets hit, he didn't get much further than the linebackers a lot.
I saw Jalen Warren dragging a professional soccer net behind him with a rope tied to his waist. I saw enough of Jalen Warren this offseason training to tell me that dude is ready for ball.
Were there wheels on the soccer net? I'm just kidding.
Oh, come on now.
I'm just messing. I've gotten this, I've fought the Najee Harris over Jalen Warren for 2 years now because I laugh at the fact that people say that he's better than Najee Harris. And that's why I'm so sure that Caleb Johnson is going to be the one to have. He's also younger. He's also on a multi.
It sounds like we're gonna have to fill in our listeners next week on a bet because it sounds like this one is the one of all the debates that you and I seem to be the most determined on.
Yeah, and I knew that was going to be the case. I don't like Jalen Warren. I think he's very much overrated in Pittsburgh, and the outside media nationally knows kind of what he is. But for some reason, Pittsburgh doesn't get it yet. So we'll see. But yeah, we can talk about these two for a while, but we're going to move on. So we will agree to disagree on this one. And maybe have a bet next week.
Yeah.
I like that. San Francisco wide receiver, since Brandon Ayuk is hurt, this will be the wide receiver one. When Brandon Ayuk comes back, if he comes back from what now I hear,
Yeah.
he will be the number. They will be the number 2 because Ayuk is better than both of these two, and I don't think it's close personally, talent wise. So we got Ricky Pearsall versus Juwan Jennings. Mine's pretty simple, and it's actually the reverse, or kind of what you say all the time and what I don't say. I haven't seen it from Ricky Pearsall. He was hurt most of the year last year. He had a couple boom games last couple games of the year. Everyone else was hurt. Juwan Jennings did it consistently all year last year. He looked like a number 1 guy, and everyone else was hurt. Like we said, he took over the reins and was that guy for Brock Purdy. I think he could do it again, and especially with him coming into the year as the number 1, because Ayuk's gone, Ayuk's out, Debo's gone. Kittle's probably the number 1 pass catcher on this team again now, but I believe Juwan Jennings is going to be that 10 target kind of player this year. 10 targets per week kind of player this year.
That's fair, and I can't argue Jennings' consistency. I can't argue that, but no, I'm going with Pearsall because I have seen it. I have seen the flashes in there, and I have seen it this last 3 games. I mean, dude got like a $140 with 8 catches and a touchdown like week 16 or 17 or something like that. Like he was. I mean, I understand it's a small sample size, like you mentioned, but someone's going to have to fill in for that Debo role. I think the Niners are a similar mode of what we're going to see with the Raiders, with Kittle being Bowers and Genty being CMC. So it's going to be weird that the wide receiver 1 is not the pass catcher 1. But I think when it comes to who the wide receiver 1 title is, I think it is going to be Pearsall by week 3.
Wow, that's early. I thought you were going to say at least week 7 or 8. Whew.
No, I'm all on the wheels up on Pearsall.
Nice. I like it. Yeah, I'll go with the consistency of what I've seen with Jennings, like I said. So I do like Pearsall. I hope he succeeds, and I think they can work pretty well together, especially with Kittle in the middle. But and I would want both of these players on my team, especially as a wide receiver 4 or 5, dynasty-wise. So next up is Tyrone Tracy and Cam Scatterboo for the number 1 Giants running back. Would you like to go ahead since you love your player?
Okay, so I do love my player. I'll go first here. I do love my player, but if I had to compare one debate to the Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco debate, would be this one. The Cam Scatterboo camp hype is out of this world. I don't know if it's because I recently acquired a team that has Scatterboo and I'm seeing it. I don't know if it's because of his developed bromance that he's had with Jackson Dart, who I have interest in from our league. I don't know, but it's literally all I hear about from any camp is Cam Scatterboo. So I am a little concerned with my Tyrone Tracy stocks. I was not feeling the Cam Scatterboo replacement because, I mean, you go with like a 5th-round draft stock versus 5th-round draft stock, and Tyrone Tracy had 1,000. He eclipsed 1,000 yards last year, but in under 16 games, and he wants to project for 1,500 yards this year. But I haven't heard a peep from Tyrone Tracy at camp. And I have heard nothing but Scatterboo. He is catching the ball out of the backfield in short routes. He is a bowling ball in the backfield. He's kind of like Pacheco with hands. It's crazy. So I'm getting a little concerned with this debate here. So I will give Tracy these flowers. Like I said, he eclipsed 1,000 yards last year. He has a high praise this year. He has a lot of high goals that he wants to do. But I am a little concerned with this. So I'll let you have the floor and to bat a little cleanup from my flowers to you.
So I'm not going to lie. I'm going to hedge my bets. To be 100% honest, and again, this isn't the first time you've heard me say this. I think Cam Scatterboo will be the running back. I think Tyrone Tracy is going to be the slot receiver on a lot of packages because Tyrone Tracy, as we all know, was a wide receiver.
Yes.
College, was successful. However, he also was a good running back as well, so he went to the running back side. Did not know Cam Scatterboo could catch the ball out of the backfield. That kind of excites me even more. If you watch one game from one player this entire college football season, again, I recommend first-round playoff game against Texas, where Arizona State almost came back and beat Texas after getting blown out in the first half. Cam Scatterbo single-handedly put the team on his back. It is an insane second half that he goes on. And ever since that game, the freight train has not slowed down on this guy, and he has just continually been talked about by more and more people. And now, I don't think they're going to be able to stop it. Like, it is so much hype at this point, where if Cam Scatterbo isn't the number one and starting the first offensive snap, I feel like if Tyrone Tracy doesn't get 18 yards on the first run, they're going to be yelling for Cam Scatterbo. It's like it is. It's like that much of a big deal right now is Cam. And granted, the media did a great job of pushing this, but he's performed in camp, from what I hear. Not that Tyrone hasn't, but he is the running back. Like, he is like you said, a bowling ball. He's not fast, but he's hard to bring down. But just like Pacheco, like you said. Now that he has hands, I did not realize that, which is awesome, because I thought this was going to be more of like a first two downs. You get Cam. Third down is obviously going to be Tyrone Tracy. Now I think it might be 3 downs Cam, and Tyrone Tracy is going to be the slot receiver.
I know. Believe me, that's what has me a little concerned. I didn't know he had hands either.
Yeah, right. Like, if I would have known that, he would have flown up boards, I'm sure. No one knew he had hands, I feel like. I heard he had a little bit of hands, but I didn't think it was as good as what he's shown so far. Outside of Malik Neighbors, these are the 2 best players on this team.
Yeah.
Like, I think Jackson Dart's going to be great, but
yeah, I'm a fan.
I'm excluding the quarterback. I'm talking about actual pass catchers or running backs or anything.
Dart's not starting, so once Dart starts, then we'll go from there. But he doesn't start, so he can't be.
So I can't see how, on a year that you're about to lose your job if you don't do something for Dayball, how you sit one of the top 3 players on your team on offense. How one of these 2 are not going to play. I think they're both going to be on the field a lot together. So me personally, because of that, I like Cam. Because I think the running back's going to get more than the second receiver in Tyrone Tracy.
Well, now you've talked me into it, and now I'm kind of liking this, because now I'm liking Tyrone Tracy a little bit more. If he's going to be a little bit more of a hybrid slot receiver / running back, I'll take that. I'll take that as well. So we'll predator handshake this one and call it a day.
Yeah, this is the one that I kind of knew I was going to hedge, because I've been saying it's not like this is the first time I've said it. These are the two of the top 3 players on this team, and Malik Neighbors is obviously number 1, and it's 2-3, depending on who you want to say is 2, who you want to say is 3. I don't really care. They're both talented. They both should be on the field at all times, because the rest of the receiving core, I know people say Wan'Dale Robinson or whoever else, they're not that good. They've had the time to prove it. They haven't. So I believe these 2 guys are going to be on the field a lot. And then finally, we have the Indy quarterback situation, which was more exciting a week ago.
Yeah.
I've heard a lot of media now backing who I think is the pick here in Anthony Richardson.
Take the floor.
Yeah, out of these 2, they both can run, and neither of them can really throw the ball that great. However, the difference is that Anthony Richardson is a cheat code if he can figure out how to throw the ball. And that's honestly why I take him over Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones is, fantasy-wise, would be a good fantasy option if he learns how to throw the ball. A good fantasy option. Anthony Richardson is a top 3 fantasy option if he figures out the passing or being able to place the ball, his accuracy. Because he has a gun of an arm. And obviously he's one of the toughest quarterbacks to bring down. It seems like every time someone brings him down, he gets hurt. So that's a little worrisome. But if he figures it out, he's a Lamar. Like, legitimately Lamar. I couldn't stand Lamar because everyone was talking so highly of him, and he couldn't throw the ball. unless the guy was absolutely wide open, which happened a lot because of his running ability. And eventually he figured out how to throw the ball. If he can figure this out, this isn't even close. He's a top 3, top 4 quarterback, dynasty, no questions asked. The problem is right now we don't know if he can throw the ball still. So, your turn.
No, I'm with you. Again, like you said, this was something a little bit more exciting a few weeks ago, but Richardson has finally woke up. Let's hope he continues to put it together. Look, like you said, like I could argue why Richardson would get opportunities here. He also a big debate against him is the lack of experience he has. Well, the only experience you're going to get is playing ball, man, and throw him in. Jim Irsay passed, R.I.P. So we're going to have a new regime in Indy. So it's now or never, in my opinion, for Richardson, because the new regime is going to go in there and do what they need to do. So I think this is an opportunity for him to show off what he's got. He got the draft capital. He got the draft stock. I mean, Daniel Jones was drafted earlier, but not by the Colts. So, yeah, I mean, wheels up on Richardson. Let's go.
All right, so no debate there. Like I said, this was kind of a exciting one 2 weeks ago, a week ago, or whatever.
This one kind of lined up with the Flacco one. Like I know I used the example of that example with Tyron Tracy because of my lack of debate, because Scatterbo has me so scared. But this one kind of lined up with the Flacco Pickett one a little bit more in regards to similarities, because a week or two ago this was exciting, but this one, Anthony Richardson is pulling away.
Yeah, he looks good in camp, honestly. Didn't the first day, but now he looks good in camp. And you brought up something really good that I just want to touch on, and why the only reason that I don't go after Richardson now before I feel like he's going to blow up. Because if he doesn't, there's a lot of good quarterbacks in the draft next year.
Yeah.
Whether Manning comes out or not.
As I'm saying, there's somebody with a very popular name that could potentially come out.
Yeah, I don't.
Indy might want him.
True. I don't believe he's going to, but I think he's going to.
I don't either. I think he needs to milk that money.
Yeah, absolutely. But there's still others. Like there's like 4 or 5 of these quarterbacks from college coming out next year that are supposed to be big time. Kind of like the running backs were this year, top heavy. That's kind of where the quarterbacks are coming next year, from what it sounds like. So we could have like 4 or 5 first round quarterbacks next year. And one of them, if these 2 don't succeed, one of them will be a goal, guaranteed. So that's the only reason I'm not saying bye on Richardson, like to buy him. We might be saying bye to his career.
Hey, you talk. I don't know, man. You talk being a Riley Leonard.
Well, I like Riley Leonard. I think he's probably the best passer out of the 3 right now, which is not saying much. But he was a 6th or 7th round pick. Like, he doesn't have the pedigree that these 2 have. He's also younger. He's not going to get the chance. If one of these 2 if they both don't succeed, they might as well see what Riley Leonard has. But that's not going to stop them from drafting somebody next year. If these 2 don't succeed.
At least we'll see some Riley at preseason. So
yeah, I'm excited to see him play. Honestly, throw to Ashton Dolan. It's probably about the closest he's going to get to a number 1 right now.
Oh,
maybe Alec Pierce. Who does? Yes, that was a little rip on Pierce. Sorry.
It's fine. It's all right.
All right. So, anything else? This was a little bit longer, but we haven't seen each other in a while. We wanted to catch up.
It's been a bit, man. Yeah.
Obviously, we talked a little bit longer than we expected on training camp, but a lot of things need to be talked about there. So,
a little bit longer than you expected. I anticipated training camp to be a long segment, just for the record.
Oh, well, you were right. I was wrong on that one. You won that one. So we'll say you win 1, I win the rest. Perfect. Sounds great. Anything else you want to talk about before we head out?
No, man. Just happy to be back. Happy football's coming. Like it is here. The depression is melting away by the day. It is here.
Yep. It is here in a month. Insanely enough, we're gonna be a week away from football in a month. So that's awesome. Super excited, and get your teams in order now. This is the time to start looking and seeing, okay, what do I need? Am I competing? Am I selling? Seeing what you have on your roster right now and seeing where the points are. Not the future, where your points are now. That's the key. So you can set up for this year, and good luck to y'all, and except for Jeremy, because I'm in both of his leagues, so hopefully I beat him. Yeah, so we're going to head out. Make sure you check us out on Podbean, YouTube, and Apple. Also, going to be working on doing a little bit more social media-wise at dynastymttops on Blue Sky and X. Also, email us with any comments or show ideas at dynastymttops at gmail.com is where you can email us. And give us any comments, questions, concerns you got, show ideas, anything like that. We're pretty much set up for the rest of the year, but we can always take some ideas as well. Moving forward, we are going to be talking about starter drafts. I know we're a little late, but we were going to do that in bulk of July, and well, things happened, and we weren't able to record for a month. So we're going to talk about starters a little bit later, but it's always good to rank your players, see where the tiers are, things like that. So that's what we're going to do in the next few weeks. We're going to start with wide receivers next week, and then move on from there. So again, for Jeremy, Mickey, this has been Dynasty for the Mountaintops. Have a great evening.
Thank you.